you what.
All right, Dan.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Moneybags. I'm gonna make this more interesting for you. How about we double it? $2 million. $2 million says I beat your boy Dylan Dennis. I know you're gonna see this. I know you're gonna see this clip.
God damn.
You're coaching him. You're guiding him. He's definitely gonna show up, right? Yeah, fuck you. Both of you are all bark, no bite. $2 million that says I beat your boy. I will send you the contract tomorrow.
Wow.
But no, he's not gonna respond. All bark, no bite.
And like, there's something about like calling somebody out, which you immediately respect them a little bit more, like willing to put yourself out there for a fight.
A new name for yourself. Look at what has happened to Michael Perry. You know, one of our big stars here, the King of Violence. He titles himself, and you know he's had such a rise in the sport. Now he's up against you know, a little dweeb of a thing in a fight this weekend that we're all rooting.
Logan Paul, one of the most hyped influencers in the fight world, recently passed on the chance to face UFC legend Conor McGregor, a decision that left Joe Rogan far from impressed. Known for his brash talk and self-proclaimed warrior spirit, Logan seemed poised for a showdown that could have shattered pay-per-view records, legitimized his fighting career, and thrilled fans worldwide. But instead of seizing the moment, he politely declined, leaving many questioning his resolve.
I'd like to fight Conor. I think it'd be really cool.
Do you think that you're too big for him?
I could cut to 185, and he's.
But size-wise, Conor was most effective at 145.
Yeah, but we'll always come back to, like, he's a professional fighter. I'm a YouTuber, you know, and so that's supposed to be the give and take of it. Like, why would I, a YouTuber who's own one, have any business beating the great Conor McGregor?
Conor McGregor is due to fight Logan Paul, not to be confused with Jake Paul, in India for $250 million each. $250 million is more than Tyson and Usyk combined. Not even close. For just Conor will make more than Usyk and Fury made combined.
Jake Paul, Conor McGregor. Is that fight happening or what?
Probably not, no.
Are you closed off to it completely?
I'm never completely closed off to anything. I used to say that about, you know, things, but I don't say that anymore.
Smart.
Because you never know. You never know what could happen.
Rogan didn't hold back, calling out the absurdity of Logan's choice. He mocked the YouTuber turned WWE sideshow for folding faster than a cheap deck chair when faced with an opportunity to share the ring with one of the sport's most notorious figures. Logan's refusal wasn't just about dodging a fight. It was about dodging McGregor, the trash-talking Irishman who has built a career on electrifying performances and headline-stealing antics.
My only concern, too, is if Conor doesn't take this serious, and like kind of moseys in, he's partying, you know, I think he could get fucked up. That's what's interesting to me. Now, if it's prime Conor, Logan might get pieced up. One point, you gotta get over to Paul brothers. One fought Mike Tyson, the other's fighting Conor McGregor. No matter how you feel about it. The right to fight Logan Paul, and Dana hates the Pauls. You know how Dana holds grudges. We know how he holds grudges. For him to be in cahoots with the Paul brothers in any facet.
Matchup at a legendary venue such as Mumbai's Wang KY Stadium could have been a career-defining moment. But instead, Rogan sarcastically quipped that Logan must be too busy perfecting his teddy bear wrestling skills in WWE to bother with real challenges. With this move, Logan cemented his reputation not as a fighter, but as someone who ducks battles and thrives on drama. Logan Paul's reputation as a fighter has always been shaky, to put it kindly. His ring achievements include a split decision loss to KSI and a disqualification win.
I would assume Logan's very busy. I would assume that he probably didn't come up with this on his own. I would assume that someone probably came to him with this project. This is just total assumption, guessing on my part.
So we have text messages from behind the scenes. A lot of people, the people who were responsible for it say Logan kind of spearheaded the idea. And he says he spearheaded the idea.
So it was his idea.
Over Dylan Dennis. Not exactly a Hall of Fame resume. Joe Rogan didn't hold back in dissecting the Dennis debacle, calling it more of a circus act than a boxing match. Rogan pointed out that Dennis threw fewer punches in 6 rounds than most people throw at a punching bag during warm-ups. Logan's so-called big win? It came because Dennis tried to choke him mid-fight. Rogan quipped, "That's not a victory, that's an escape from embarrassment." But even within the political context, Logan's meaning was clear. Let's focus on the meaning. But let's talk about Conor McGregor. Love him or hate him, McGregor brings...
McGregor and Logan Paul are featured as part of the historic Visit India tourism campaign, so it's government funded, yeah? It's a clash in Mumbai, iconic stadium. The two will be rewarded for their efforts, with McGregor set to walk away with $250 million. That's more than to fight Floyd.
Star power and credibility few can rival. Sure, he hasn't fought since 2021, and his record isn't spotless, but even a half-broken McGregor is leagues ahead of Logan Paul. Rogan didn't mince words, saying McGregor would dismantle Logan with one leg, blindfolded, and still end it in under 3 rounds. And still goes, 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 and still goes. Then the
event will be funded by the Ambani family dynasty, the richest in India. See how much they're worth? So 500 million has to be pennies for them. So India's Ambani family tops Forbes list of Asia's richest families. You know how rich you got to be Asia's richest family? Singapore, India's Ambani family tops 2017 Forbes list.
As the proposed $250 million payday for each fighter, Rogan couldn't resist mocking it. $250 million? That's not just life-changing money. That's buy your own island and never see a Paul brother again money. And yet, Logan walked away from it. Either he has more money than brains, or he knows exactly how badly that fight would end. Logan Paul, the self-proclaimed internet sensation turned wannabe fighter, is certainly living up to the family legacy, dodging real challenges while staying in the spotlight. Logan Paul is Jake Paul's older brother, and if there's one thing they share beyond their last name, it's their talent for cherry-picking fights. Jake, the master of carefully selecting opponents, famously avoided legitimate boxers for as long as he could. Logan? He's no different. The apple didn't just fall close to the tree, it rolled right into Jake's backyard. Take Jake's infamous challenge to Mike Tyson, for instance. It wasn't a random choice.
Love to do a UFC fight.
Man, who the hell are you gonna fight, bro?
Who do you want me to fight, Mike?
Maybe Conor or something.
Tyson, in his 50s, is far from the ferocious Iron Mike, who once dominated the heavyweight division. Sure, he's still a boxing icon, but he's a shadow of his prime. Logan, inspired by Jake's bold yet calculated moves, seems to be following the same playbook: big names, low risks. Logan's fight history fits the formula perfectly. A match against Floyd Mayweather, a 50-0 boxing legend, sounds impressive until you realize it was an exhibition with no stakes. Mayweather barely trained for it, and yet Logan struggled to land a single meaningful punch. Meanwhile, Jake kept busy facing aging fighters and avoiding anyone who could truly test his skills. It's a strategy built more for preserving their brand than proving actual talent. MMA fighters and basketball players, Logan and Jake Paul, have built their careers sidestepping actual boxers at every opportunity. They might as well trademark strategic opponent selection. So, when Conor McGregor's name came up, it was a chance for Logan to break them.
Yeah, with Jabber.
Great, man. G and Jake Gyllenhaal.
That might work. I don't know what was going on there.
Oh, you know what was going on, brother. You know what was going on.
Mold and face someone with real credibility and skill. But instead, he did what Jake would have done, backed off faster than he dodges tough questions in interviews. Why risk facing McGregor when safe, profitable bouts against opponents who either can't box or are past their prime are readily available? Joe Rogan didn't hold back, diving into the psychology behind Logan's choice. According to Rogan, this isn't about money or fame. Logan thrives in controlled environments like WWE, where the moves are scripted, or misfits boxing, where the opponents barely qualify as threats. But McGregor? That's an entirely different ballgame, one Logan clearly isn't ready for. Stepping into the ring with someone who could dismantle your brand in under 10 minutes, that's the real issue here. Logan Paul isn't a fighter, he's a showman. His entire career revolves around creating spectacles, not proving himself. Joe Rogan nailed it. Logan doesn't want to be a fighter, he wants to look like one. And there's a big difference. Fighters take risks, even when the odds are stacked against them. Showmen, on the other hand, carefully pick their moments and hope no one notices the strings. The proposed Mumbai fight added a fresh layer of absurdity. Part of India's Visit India tourism campaign, it was a bizarre setting for what Rogan mocked as a live-action meme. Imagine flying halfway across the world to watch Logan Paul get knocked out in front of 300,000 screaming fans, he joked. But Rogan didn't stop there. He took aim at the broader trend of influencer boxing, calling it a sideshow pretending to be a sport. And Logan Paul, in Rogan's eyes, is the poster boy for this charade. Logan Paul is the poster child for this phenomenon, where boxing has shifted from gladiators fighting for honor to influencers playing dress-up in the ring. It's like turning the Olympics into a TikTok dance-off, Joe Rogan quipped, his frustration evident. Logan's entire persona thrives on marketing and theatrics, not grit or skill. Rejecting the McGregor fight wasn't just a missed opportunity. It was a glaring admission that Logan isn't ready for the big leagues. Logan talks a big game.
Now, if it's prime Conor, Logan might get pieced up. One point, you gotta get it to Paul brothers. One fought Mike Tyson, the other's fighting Conor McGregor. I don't know how you feel about it.
But when it's time to walk the walk, he's nowhere to be found, Rogan said. He's like a wrestler who runs out of the ring the moment the bell rings. And yet Logan somehow keeps winning, not in the ring, but in the court of public attention. Rogan admitted Logan's decision to duck McGregor might actually play to his advantage. This guy knows how to spin anything into a narrative, Rogan said. He'll probably claim McGregor's not worth his time or some nonsense like that, and his fans, they'll eat it up like it's gospel. Rogan wrapped up his rant with a cutting question. At what point do we stop pretending Logan Paul is a real fighter? He's not. He's a marketer, a showman, a walking billboard. But a fighter? Not even close. Logan Paul? A fighter? Not even close. His connection to Jake Paul makes it clear. This isn't about fighting, it's about spectacle.
Did you guys see the Logan Paul, Conor McGregor shit? Who wins in that fight? I think Logan Paul.
I mean, we haven't seen Conor fight in a while.
I feel like Logan Paul, at his size, when he fought Floyd too, that was years ago. He's like been training. He's in an insane shape.
Man, I wish Conor wasn't doing these types of...
Paul brothers have turned combat sports into a circus act, where the goal isn't earning respect, but racking up paychecks and headlines. Logan's rejection of a fight with Conor McGregor isn't just a missed opportunity, it's a statement. He doesn't want to prove himself in the ring, he wants to stay in his carefully curated bubble. Whether it's exhibitions or cherry-picked matchups, Logan is sticking to the family script. Don't expect real fights, just real marketing. Joe Rogan summed it up perfectly. Logan Paul thrives on controlling his narrative rather than stepping up to genuine challenges. Avoiding McGregor wasn't about strategy or timing. It was about staying safe. Sure, that might keep his brand intact, but it also exposes the truth. Logan is more interested in looking like a fighter than being one. If Logan ever decides to stop playing it safe and actually fight, let me know, Rogan said. Until then, I'll stick to watching real fighters. So what do you think? Is Logan Paul too scared to face a real opponent? Or is he just too busy starring in his own circus? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's see if anyone can defend Logan's decision with an excuse more absurd than his own.